today we have two different scenarios. This one here was a yard sale find, kind of rusty. I don't really know the background on it. I don't know. I'm not too familiar with brands and stuff yet. I just know I love cooking with cast iron. I'd like to one day be able to value them or know the value of the different cast irons. If you can comment below, I mean, I'd love to know more about them or find out where I can. There's no markings that I can really see. No markings that I can really see yet till I clean it up a little bit. This one here is a different scenario. This one here looked like it was just kind of forgotten about a little bit. Looked like it was cooked on and maybe left out. Maybe left outside. No markings that I can see on this one either. So we're gonna try to clean both of them, salvage them. I mean, as far as salvaging, I know cast iron lasts forever and can take a beating. So I feel pretty good about getting these back to tip-top shape. Let's go. What we're gonna do first here is see what we've got, what we're working with here. This stuff looks pretty shiny, looks almost greasy, but I haven't touched it yet, so I'm gonna find out here what it's like, what the texture or the surface is like here. This is pretty hard. I'm not exactly sure what that is. Kind of syrupy, sappy, pretty hard. This one here, it's just good old rust and some dirt. Okay. So I think this one's gonna need a little bit more love, a little bit more attention. I have to probably put it on the heat and see if that stuff kind of softens up or melts away or liquefies or something before we can get started with cleaning that one. I think I'm gonna focus on this one first. For this one, for the rust, I've seen a lot of people go the harshest way possible firsthand and do the soak in the vinegar or hit it with a wire brush and stuff. And I want to reiterate that, I mean, you don't have to go that hard with this stuff. I mean, yes, it is rusted and it might be there, but try to go the easiest way, the softest way possible. I have a mix here of 60% vinegar, 40% water. It's a 60-40 mix that I've seen used plenty of times, and we'll give it a try here. We'll take this 60-40 and we'll spray the inside of this pan with a 60-40 vinegar water and just take that and see what it does. We'll let it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes. We'll get it all coated and we'll see what that does for us. It's been coated, now we let it sit. So here we have the bigger pan, and like I said, it's been soaking for a good 15 minutes. We're gonna go try and see if we can get anything with these wool pads and see how bad the bottom of it is. I'm gonna switch to a plastic brush here. I can get a little bit more in there and stuff and see if I can get it in there. One with a handle is great. The short handle, one with a short handle works good because you have good control over it and stuff, and saves your knuckles for sure. I like starting off with a plastic one and not going to a wire brush right away, because sometimes this plastic brushes are enough to get it. dump that out and rinse it out and see what it looks like. You got a lot of the rust out, but I will tell you it does feel very uneven. I will go ahead and do the vinegar again and let it sit. But first I think I'm gonna dry it out as much as I can. I knew that was gonna happen. I was holding on by the lip. A big pan to fit in my sink. So here it is again on our table here. We're gonna go ahead and spray it again with a vinegar solution for a second time and let it sit for another 15 minutes. The big pan's been soaking for about 15 minutes now. I let it soak for about 15 minutes. These are the pads that I use. I like them. They have steel wool with the soap inside them. And, you know, I know no soap on cast iron, but in this case, I think it's about the only time that you should use soap. This pan we've brought to a boil. I added some water in there because it looked like it was some sort of sugar or caramel or something that went wrong in the caramelization process. So what I'm going to do is just take my griddle spatula and just see if I can get as much of that stuff off of there and get it to stick to my spatula. Like I said, it looked like it was some sort of sugar or caramelization that went wrong because it was bubbling and smoking pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty thick syrup, almost like a tree sap that had on there and had hardened on there. So we'll try to get all that off, fish that all out of there and get as much of that off of there or out of there. Take the metal spatula here and scrape off as much of that right now that it's hot. Like I said, it's pretty thick stuff. Sticking to the spatula pretty good too. Not exactly sure what the history is of this pan. I just know it was brought to me in this condition, and I figured, you know, I'm gonna be cleaning with my yard sale find, so I'd figure, what the heck, well, let's throw this one along with it. So I have it here in the sink now after it boiled for a little bit, and I removed as much of that stuff as I could. I know they say never wash these cast iron pans with soap, but I think here we're gonna make an exception and get it nice and soapy just to get rid of as much of that sticky stuff as possible because it's really hard to cut through. And again, I'm gonna get the same metal spatula and just kind of see if I can give it a rub here or try to clean off the spatula, and it just stuck to it even more. It got really hard, very thick, very fast as it cooled down. So I cleaned it out. Some of that rust didn't come off completely down here by this little spout or here. Still got some of this tar stuff that I'm gonna have to work at and get that out right now with another scrub. But for the most part, it's pretty clean. I did notice this pan's got a crack in it. I don't know, the lighting's okay there. It's got a crack. And it does go through to the other side. I don't know if it's gonna affect the pan or how far down it goes. But I'm gonna go ahead and do the cleaning process just for the heck of it. So I'm pretty happy with the way both turned out. Some would say it's a little spotty, or it is pretty spotty. This one's a lot better, but still a little bit spotty. I just hate using the wire brush on them. I think I can get that pretty smoothed out or evened out with the seasoning process, which I'm gonna go use. I'm actually use the traditional grapeseed oil, but on my pan I'm gonna use avocado oil, which I recently found out that has a high burn temperature as well rating. So I could see how it works out, see if it works out. I do know the avocado oil is a little less expensive than the grapeseed oil. So, and both having, I think that's what you want, is an oil that has higher burn rating. So here we go. The first thing you do is go to bake, preheat. We'll preheat that. When oiling these pans, getting ready for seasoning, you just got to make sure you don't do a really thick coating. You don't want super thick. You want to just get a nice even coat throughout the sides, the top, the bottom, throughout the whole thing. I also do recommend having good ventilation, having the fan on your exhaust also helps. But nothing, like I said, not a very thick coat. You want just a nice, smooth, even coat. And here we've got the grapeseed oil on this one. I will make another video on attempting to repair this for their customer. But again, just a thin coat. We wait for the oven to heat up and we'll put them in for about an hour. The oven's about ready to be up to its 350 degree temperature. We're gonna go ahead and when we place these in the oven, we're gonna place them just on a rack and we're gonna place them upside down. The reason you place them upside down is so you don't have a heavy, thick buildup here, especially along the edges here. You want it to drip out and have a nice uniform coating. Same thing we're gonna do with this one. Just put it in there, but we're gonna put it upside down on the rack so you have the aluminum foil. There we go. 350. We're ready to go. Now that the oven's at 350, like we said, we'll put them in upside down. And we'll see them in about an hour. So it's been an hour now. And we're gonna open it up, and normally it's pretty smoky when you open up, so definitely leave the ventilation on. And we'll pull them out of the oven and check them out. Let's see how this goes. See what they look like. Still some unevenness, some spotting, but definitely on the way there. We'll do another coat. We'll put them in there. We'll do another hour. So we're gonna go ahead and do another coat on both of them and re-put them in the oven for another hour. So let's get these coated and we'll get them back in. So now we've put them second coat, and now they're going back in the oven. We'll do another hour here. After the fourth time in the oven, you could see that it's seasoned pretty well. They're still a little bit spotty, but I think with regular use and no soap cleanings, they'll do pretty good.